closer to us, let me talk into the microphone instead, you can see what it's doing. It's starting to show those blue peaks. And right now in the YouTube video, it's telling me where I want to be at in those blue peaks for volume. I didn't know this 5 seconds ago, well, 5 minutes ago. This is real time, but I'm going to learn it. And I just wanted to encourage you guys too, that if you have a dream, this is how it happens. It's trial and error. It's trying something and, just sucking at it and going over and over. And then later you look back and be like, man, if I had never taken that first step, then I would never be where I am. And so I know what my end story is. And this is a way for me to talk to you guys throughout that journey. So here's my encouragement. If you want to start something, pull up YouTube and get to work and learn it. Just do it, you guys. Action is the key. All right. I'll see you guys in a few years when we all look back on this and say, remember when Elizabeth Sullivan was in her secret location, it's my closet, by the way, and did a podcast. This is when. So that is how it's going to go down. My name is Elizabeth Sullivan, and you're listening to Lizdom. By the way, I don't know if I like that name or not. It literally came to me while I was driving yesterday, and I seriously laughed out loud. I laughed so hard. I made fun of myself, thought that is the stupidest thing. I haven't even Googled it yet, so if I have to trash this, we'll trash this. But the first name we'll go with is Lizdom. Not that I have like a shit ton to offer, but I know a crap load of random stuff. So that's what we come up with. Welcome to Lizdom. My name is Elizabeth Sullivan, and here to share my journey about life, about entrepreneurship. I'm big into health and fitness. I believe with all my heart that there is a God above us. And I really believe that with a growth mindset, you can do anything that you set your feet and your mind and your intention towards. I mean, actions add up, and too few of us don't take enough of them towards our dreams to actually see them come true. So that's what this is going to be all about. If you want to see more about this behind the scenes, you can visit YouTube. I might throw a little bit up there, especially as I get comfortable talking to you guys here. We'll do some video back there, but I'm trying to avoid the whole video thing right now because this just allows me to get my thoughts out a little bit better. So I want to hear from you, though. I want to know, what do you want to learn? Because I've found that the best way to learn something is to teach it. Well, is there something that you want to learn that I can teach you? Because if you want to learn it, I think I could get jazzed up about it too. That's just a little bit about me in this episode. I love learning. I love growing. I love adding to my skill set. And you never know what random piece of knowledge will come in handy someday. And that has actually helped me, probably from when I was in elementary school all the way up until now. That viewpoint alone has helped me love learning. Not saying that I'm a genius or anything. I actually did not complete college. I didn't do much college, but I grow every single day, and I know that sets me apart. So I think, that's another thing that we can talk about along this is acknowledging and appreciating and highlighting what sets you apart. A lot of times we try to be just like everybody else because that's what society demands. We need people to fit in a form or else the system doesn't work well. And I totally respect that. However, sometimes, the systems work better if there are new forms. And so it's okay to be you, and it's okay to acknowledge something you're awesome at. And if the world doesn't appreciate it yet, just fine tune it a little bit and get it out there in a way that is loving and positive and purposeful. And, that's how you can make a difference. I was posting the other day to some fellow entrepreneurs and part of a group online, and I was encouraging them about being outspoken in their growth and their mindset and their beliefs and their dreams. And I want to share that encouragement with you because I think it's real. So the perks of being outspoken in the way that you think and see the world and in the way that you want the world to become are the fact that you get to surround yourself then with like-minded people, with a group of people who believe and think the same way you do. And therefore, you end up kind of creating that world and then living in it. It's this cool thing in our brain called the RAS, and it's basically your reticular activating system. And what the RAS does is it highlights to us what is important to us. Very common example you've heard would be if you buy a red car, and all of a sudden, when you drive it out of the parking lot, you see that red car everywhere. It's not that it wasn't there before, it's that you didn't notice it before because it wasn't important to you. And so that's the whole point of building a life that you love and accepting who you are and being okay loving who you are. Because when you focus on those amazing, awesome, purposeful qualities, then that gets highlighted. And oh man, what a beautiful life to live in if everything that was beautiful was highlighted, if everything that was purposeful was highlighted, if everything that was, done with passion and joy was highlighted instead of the opposite. And so, our mindset has a lot to do with it. The way that we accept ourselves has a lot to do with it. You can control what you give, you cannot control what you receive. So this is a lot about self. This is a lot about believing in yourself, loving yourself through the bad stuff and the good stuff, and being better for yourself every day. And that's just automatically going to make you show up differently in the world. For me, it definitely has. It took a few years of reshaping my brain in a sense. Rewiring, I guess is what we could call it. So I've generally been a positive person. I'm pretty optimistic, always been an entrepreneur. And I love, self-help books, and that's just been me from the core. I'm serious, you guys, from elementary. And a lot of times this is how you can find out about yourself, is if you go back to your childhood, what were your tendencies then? What were you drawn to? What you can connect those dots. When you look back and align it with what is going on now, a lot of times you can connect those dots. So my dots were definitely personal development. Now, since then, I really dove in deep. After I had my fourth child, I changed my body. The year after that, I was just bound and determined to get into shape. My final shape is what I said. And so I really changed my body. But then the year after that, I decided that I wanted to change the way that I think and appear in this world. And so I'll just be honest, I started with the OG himself, Mr. Tony Robbins, and I soaked up, I think, every single thing that he could have put out for a solid year and a half. After that, and you might laugh at me for this one, but after that, then I discovered Les Brown. Mr. Les Brown, if you're listening to this will be a funny story that we can share someday, but I almost wrote to you. Yes, you guys, I almost wrote to Les Brown and told him to keep doing what he was doing and keep speaking his truth, because it was really making a difference on me, and I know that it could on the world. Well then, and this was like me just getting into motivational speakers like on YouTube and stuff. So Tony Robbins was first, Les Brown was second, and turns out Les Brown had already made it. You guys already know that. I didn't know that. From there it was just everybody that had something to offer. I was just soaking it up, and I can tell you that repetition, that listening to something that was going to move my mind forward in the way I wanted to go, listening to something every single day is how it happens. You got to be obsessed with it. You have to do something continuously and repeatedly. And I still do to this day. It still gets me pumped up. But now I need to put this out here for you, because you guys, I've learned so much about how to show up for myself in life and genuinely build a life that I look forward to. And I wish that you guys can feel the same excitement every morning. So please join me for this podcast. I don't know what this editing will look like. I don't know what the next episode is, but I hope you leave a comment or email me any questions that you have. You can find me on Facebook as well. My name is Elizabeth Sullivan. We'll make a page for Lizdom and email me your questions, and let's go ahead and start a conversation here, because we can grow together. We can show up as our best self in this world, and together we're stronger. So let's build our minds together and let's do this. All right, thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Lizdom. Stay strong.